Hi, my name is Gina King, and my AT implementation project is modifying a board game to accommodate the needs of a young male in kindergarten with visual impairments. The student that I'm focusing on is completely blind, and he only has light perception, and so he actually accesses his media through level 1 UEB uncontracted braille and tactile elements. So what I decided to do is I wanted to make sure that he's included in his classroom, and so a lot of the kids in the classroom, they play board games, they play other activities, and a lot of times he can't be included because of the fact that he can't access the material. And so what I decided to do is I decided to use simple everyday objects around the house, arts and crafts material, to modify a board game so that it is accessible to him. So the end result is, let me see if it folds. It's actually a Candyland board game, and you'll notice that each game spot has a little different tactile element, and I'll show those up close. So since it's a board game, it could actually be utilized anywhere. It could be used inside the house. It could be used inside the classroom. It could be essentially used anywhere that he wants to play Candyland with his friends or his peers. So the first and most important thing is you want to make sure that there's tactile elements to the board game. So what you want to do is you are actually taking each of the color pieces, and for that part I used a piece of cardstock with little, I don't know if you could tell, little elements, little bumpy elements, and that actually corresponds with the game board. So there would be the orange one. And then for the blue, I use blue sequin ribbons, and that actually corresponds with the blue. And then for the yellow, I actually use yellow foam. And then for the red, I use this mosaic tile-y looking sticker, and that corresponds with the red. And then the purple, I use rows of rhinestones, and that corresponds with the purple. And then the green is actually a glittery coarse foam, and that corresponds with the green pieces as well. And so every single board piece actually has a tactile element to it, so that way they could just go ahead and touch and see where they're supposed to be landing. Another thing that a lot of kids with visual impairments are concerned about when they play board games is they tend to knock over game pieces because they can't see where they're moving their pawn. And so what I did is I actually just took Velcro and I stuck it to the bottom of the game pawns. And you'll notice that on the games, there's actually Velcro all over. So that way, as you're moving, you could just stick it on and it won't fall over. Every element of the game that has a word, so Candyland, licorice, lagoon, peppermint forest, etc., they're all actually brailled. And I don't know if you could see, I don't think you could see that, but it actually has braille to it. And so that way they could actually just feel around and see what else is written. There's also other game pieces with different corresponding pictures. And so, for example, this is the sweet treats. This is a peanut. This is a little peppermint patty candy. This is a lollipop. And this is an ice cream cone. And so what happens is when the child picks those cards up, they can actually feel for what's on the card, and they could find where it is by touching the pieces. Now there are some pieces where it has an X, so I put a foam X on top of it. And then, let's see, and then I also added, using embossing powder, I added some tactile feedback. It's clear so you can't really tell, but you could hear the little ridge. So for example, there's areas where there's shortcuts. I added little arrows and embossing powder. And you can't really see that because, like I said, it's clear, but they're able to feel for that. You also want to make sure that the instructions that the game comes with is fully accessible. So this is just the generic, typical instructions that came with it. And so what I did is I actually went ahead and brailled the instruction. I don't know if you could tell, but there's the braille. And so the child could actually read the instruction in Braille as well. Now, granted, this game is intended for a young child in kindergarten, so he does not know fully contracted Braille yet, but he's in the process of learning. But this is a great way for him to start. There's a lot of tactile elements. There's a lot of just regular, typical items that you would have around the house, such as ribbon, stickers, Velcro, I guess, I don't know if everybody has embossing powder. I personally do. But these are ways that you could use typical everyday arts and crafts materials to incorporate into your projects, activities, and games to make it as accessible as possible. I will be giving it to him this upcoming week, and so hopefully he'll enjoy it and actually be able to use it, and hopefully his friends will be able to enjoy it as well. Thanks for watching.